Listen in as the two business guys mastermind on ways to increase your profits and make more money. Enjoy. This business podcast, the two business guys mastermind, uncovers for you secrets and share tips and tricks to entrepreneurship as they mastermind on how to have startup, operational, and overall business success so that you can go on to get better results. Enjoy. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. The two business guys are masterminding today, and you're going to love this topic. It's, how do you pull profits out of thin air? And I want to start off by saying, hey, Rob, how are you, sir?
Doing well, brother. How you been?
I can't complain. Now, listen, what you're seeing, what you're witnessing on screen is a real live example of that. And then we're going to go into a little bit. So first, I want to talk about this quote. Look at this quote here. Tell me how this quote makes you feel. It says, think of your business as something apart from yourself, as a world of its own, as a product of your efforts, as a machine designed to fulfill a very specific need, as a mechanism for giving you more life. Now, it's more to the quote, but I want to stop there. Tell me how that quote makes you feel. Put a little bit in a description field, right? Comment on that, or in the description field, we're going to have an extension of where I got that from, but put some comments on that. Right? How does that make you feel? And when we go in today's topic, we want you to understand that your business, this thing that you have created, should be apart from you. It should be a mechanism like turning on a light switch that you go, turn on, make me money. If you've got it set up right, right? So Rob, that's from E-Myth.
Mm-hmm.
Right there on page 109, he talks about that. How difficult in your work with entrepreneurs do you see them? How difficult is that for entrepreneurs to get through their heads?
Oh, tremendously.
Then we'll jump right into our conversation.
Tremendously difficult. And I think, it makes sense, right? All of us go through, and, I just went through and did a reading of on an article that talked about the 5 stages of growth and 5 stages of development in a business. And one of the interesting things is that the first 2 stages are really kind of experimentation or existence and survival. So the first really year to 2 years of an entrepreneur's journey are, can this work? Does this work? And then, can this work long enough for it to survive, right? And during that period of time, most of the entrepreneurs that I deal with, it is their business is wrapped up in them. It is who they are. It is the thing that they are doing to prove to themselves that they can do something. And therefore, they are really tied into, if the business works, then I am valuable. Mm-hmm. If the business doesn't work, then I am not valuable. Mm-hmm. And having been in that state for so long, it makes it really difficult to shift to the business working or not means I have a valuable asset, not I am valuable. Right?
Did you hear that, y'all? Did you hear the goal that was just laid at your feet? Right? Rob, can you repeat that, sir? That was brilliant.
The transition that many people struggle to go from is the equating their value with the business value. If the business is valuable, then I am valuable, rather than if the business is valuable, then I have a valuable asset. It's kind of like, when we were younger, I remember there were certain people, and you could always tell the different types of people. There are certain people who, if they got a pair of J's, they felt valuable. Like they were better because they were wearing Jordans. Then there were other people who they knew that they had on some nice kicks, but it didn't matter if they was wearing Bobos or if they was wearing J's, they knew that they were good. And in this instance, one of the things that, and I love the book, The E-Myth. Michael Gerber is just like a savant, right? And one of the things that he kind of stresses in that book is you have to see your business as something distinct from you. because that's the only way it can grow to be bigger than you. And so many people struggle with that. And that's why we get bogged down feeling like we got to do everything in our business, because our business is us.
That's right. That's right. And now when you're thinking about turning on the lights of your profit, if you will, right? How do you bring profits out of the sky? I just want to show you, just like I say, with this example right here. Now, there's a story behind this example that you're seeing on screen. QR code, buy me a coffee. Now, buy me a coffee. These are some folks just like, Tip Jar, just like Patreon. And they just came up with a new way to say, I've done some good stuff for you. Would you like to buy me a coffee? Right? Whatever you value your coffee at. Now, think about this for a minute. Let's say you're in all these meetings that COVID has made us start having, right? Whatever that meeting looks like. Now, obviously, you can't do this for everything, but you have no way to monetize that meeting. Now, I'm the Mr. Monetize Your Life guy, right? On one of my other channels that I produce, that's what I talk about all the time, is how you can monetize things. Now, our talk today, our meeting today could be instantly monetized. Why? Because in front of you is the opportunity to do it. Your asset, that business that you have decided to start, is that asset. Are you flipping it on and saying, go out there, business, and make me money? Or are you the business, if you don't get up for the day, no money comes in for the day? That's what we got to get away from. We absolutely have to get away from that. We're not the asset. The business you build is, and it should at any given moment be able to be flipped on. Now, this video, look at this, right? Built for nothing, zero. Why? Because I went over to Canva. I'm giving you specifics here. I went over to Canva and I grabbed a QR code. I grabbed my buy me a coffee code. I put it in there. I put it as a part of my virtual background, right? Now, I used to have just my board up. I use my board as a marketing tool, right? Because I could put my www dots. People are nosy. They're looking at the board. They're seeing that. I would point to the board. I'd say, hey, look, I'm a practitioner, everybody. I'm in the trenches every day helping you make money, because that's what I do. So that was a part of the strategy. But when I thought about this one, because a very good friend of mine says, you know what, your board is distracting. It's got so much good stuff on it that all I'm doing is looking past you and looking at the board. So I don't even hear you, right? And then that was second by someone she trusts. I was like, well, maybe I'll look at it. First, I was pissed. Who are they to criticize me? I'm a marketer. And then I thought, well, what else could I do? Just putting up a regular background, everyone, doesn't give you the opportunity to earn. The asset, the show you have created, the system that you've created, the fact that you're doing it every week, should be earning you in multiple ways. This is just one of them. You right now, and I'd certainly enjoy this. I definitely send some money over to my co-host if you decide to do this. Go to the QR code, right? And buy me a coffee. As many as you want. It happens all the time, because what we're getting ready to drop on you right now could be so valuable. The model that we've just put in front of you could be something that you can start making money from before you get off the call with us, right? Or off the podcast. You can say, wait a minute, it cost me nothing to make this QR code. I'm going to go over here to buy me a coffee, figure that out, right? Download the code. And yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you can start making money right away. Are y'all hearing me? Are y'all tracking with me right now? That's what when we talk about pulling these profits out of thin air, when your business is designed in such a way, this is just one option. Rob, here's something, man, that you got to hear this, man. I was talking to a young lady who has, she has some ideas. And I love getting entrepreneurs with ideas, because they don't know what to do next, and they're so wide-eyed. They got so many big ideas, but they just don't know how to be pointing in the right direction. So this is what I told her. I says, listen, she had a piece of material that she wanted to record on, Right. And I says, well, what's the problem? Why can't you record? She says, oh, I'm getting nervous. I'm erasing. I'm doing all these different things. I'm taking this piece. I got 20 of them. I'm done. And I just got rid of them. I said, don't get rid of not a one more. I said, because all of those can be parsed out and we can create from. And I says, so I'm going to do that for you. Now get this, everyone. I'm getting ready to share the tip with you. As I says, I'll do it for you. How much you going to charge me for that? You charge a lot of money. I'm gonna do it for free. Just buy me some coffee. Are you hearing what's happening here? Getting ready to give value. Just buy me some coffee, right? So I did it. She sent over the video. I took the video, I put it in my editing program. I edited out the start, she didn't want. And then I put a picture behind it that was talking about that very subject matter. And then I sent her the video. Right now, it says, now from this video, go turn it into words. From those words, you've created enough content here to create a nice little checklist for somebody. From that checklist, go out there and give it away. And if it's valuable enough, sell it for $1. That's creating profits out of thin air from thinking, how can I leverage what I already have? Rob and I do this all the time. Now, we're going to be talking about this summit we've got coming up, right? It could very well be a virtual summit, depending on what's happening in the world today, right? That's going to show you this stuff in droves. We're going to, Rob's going to do the thing he does in making sure that you've got a beautifully running, chaos-free company, right? I'm going to show you how to monetize everything. That's what you're going to get. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But Rob, let's extend on that. Let's expand a little bit on this.
Yeah.
With what Gerber said. And I want you to take it from, after I talk about this. 3 things, 4 really, but 3 things that your business should absolutely be concerned with. And I'm telling you, I hear it all the time. I'm listening to entrepreneurs and they're talking about everything but this thing. He says, listen, this is what your business should be most concerned with. 1, lead generation. That's sales, y'all. Right? Some way these little codes can be going out to your people. How email, how all kinds of ways, word of mouth, all kinds of ways, right? Okay, lead generation, lead conversion, and client fulfillment. Right?
There you go.
And then, of course, the 4th one is kind of like creating your operating manual. So lead generation. What can you say you did yesterday to bring money into your business? All right. So, Rob, let's talk a little bit about that. What do people got set up?
One of the things that was so interesting, I heard somebody else say it this way. It was making money is a function of asking people to buy and them saying yes. Therefore, the question that you have to ask yourself is always, how many people have you asked to buy today?
Oh, that's nice.
All right. And lead generation is a prep for asking to buy, right? Because before I can ask you to buy, I got to know you. I got to know where you are, know who you are, know that you want what I know, that you might want what I have. And this is one of the places that so many people get stuck. And I mean, even for my business, this is one of the spaces where I'm constantly having to reinvent and readjust in this space. I know one of the things I'm in a CEO roundtable, and one of the things that I'm talking about with my group, with my cohort, is, again, how can I better explain why people do business with us such that it becomes easy for potential clients to be like, yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. Right. You're constantly trying to refine that message. You're constantly trying to get better at it, because the whole thing about it is, once you get to a certain level of business, you start realizing you can put your message in front of a whole bunch of people. That's not the question, right? You got enough dollars, you can put your message in front of anybody. Look at the Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl ads. You got $2 million, you can get 2 million people, 20 million people to see your message. But that's not the point. Can you craft a message that makes the people that should be buying from you be like, yes, I want to buy that. How do I get in touch with you? How do I get? That's the big question that you have to. And a lot of people struggle with that. And the question that you want to answer, right? And I've heard this a number of different ways, but the one that stood out most to me was, why do people like us? Right? Not why should people buy from us? Not why should, right? All the should. Not why, right? Not even benefits, but realistically, why have people chosen to do business with you in the past? That gives you a tremendous insight into why people will choose to do business with you in the future. And if you can answer that question, that's tremendously helpful. And if you can't answer that question, go find somebody that can help you answer that question, because I promise you that is going to be foundational to you being confident and comfortable that you're not just shouting at the wind, but that you know you're actually calling to certain people. It's just like if you go in a crowd of people and you just say, hey, you might get a couple people turn around and look at you funny. But you go into a crowd of people looking for everybody that's named Sarah, and you go, Sarah, everybody named Sarah is going to turn around. And they're going to turn around expectantly, like, what are you calling me for? Right? Now, if you have what the Sarahs in the crowd need, they're going to come see you, right? And that's the whole idea. So I think that, that whole point that you made, Randy, about, lead generation being the focus is so powerful, right? Because you have to be asking people to buy if you're going to turn that switch on. And the key thing is, once you know that message, once you know what gets people to turn around, you don't have to be walking around shouting the whole time.
Yeah, you can be really, really sneaky. Get this. Like, for example, and I'm inspired by this, quite frankly, in one of the Super Bowl commercials, like Rob says, hey, if you got enough money, they did one of the most brilliant things that I had seen in a long time. All the other commercials are, these little cute things that get you feeling all good, right? There was, you may, look up the company somehow, or the company's kind of top of mind or whatever. Well, one company says, hey, we'll do better than that. They created a QR code and they put it in the commercial.
Yep. It was the commercial.
Now, did y'all hear? Y'all not tracking with me right now, right? Let's just think about that and let's just model that. Your business has just put a QR code in front of folks, all that are interested, then came and crashed the server. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a good problem to have. Right? Now, are you doing that? Are you putting out, and we talked about this in another episode, how many buy buttons, how much money you make? And this was, again, a paraphrase from, I was listening to a very smart marketer, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so simple. And she said, just like this, how much money you want to make or how much you make is in direct proportion to how many buy buttons you have out there. And I was like, brilliant. Yes. In other words, how many asks, how many buy buttons you got out there, right? And now upon hearing something like that, I said to myself, how many buy buttons do I have out there? Maybe 20, 22 in different areas. Then I thought, this person had 3,000. What? Yeah, 3,000, because she had all of these little. Now I create digital market, digital, assets all the time. That gives you the opportunity to put as many as you need to. Now your business has a variety of ways to come into it. Mm-hmm. How many are out there asking for customers to come inside?
And how much are you tracking? Are customers coming by? Do you have web traffic? All of those different types of things. Mm-hmm. How much of that stuff are you tracking? How much of that stuff are you actually looking at? And it's so important, again, because oftentimes the conversation is, it's hard to make money. And Randy will tell you, it's not hard to make money. The question is, how are you trying to make money? And are you doing what's necessary to make money that way? If you're a barber, you need people to have time to sit down and to get their hair cut. So it's probably not a good idea for you to walk, hey, You want a haircut? Hey, you want a haircut? Hey, you want a haircut? Right. In the middle of Times Square where people are walking, busy, bustling to work. That's probably not the good place to be asking people, right? Even though there's a lot of people, most of them are not going to be your customers. On the other hand, right, if you are at, in a barbershop on a Saturday with a sign out front that says, right, for people that are driving by to say, do you want to come in? Do you need a haircut? It's a different ballgame because they're already doing right. I remember there was one barbershop that was near the jiu-jitsu school that I used to run, and it was next to a grocery store. And you think about it, right? Most of the time when people are going grocery shopping, it's at the time when they have time to do stuff, right? It's Saturday, it's Sunday. There's a couple hours that they set inside the grocery shopping anyway. Oh, go get my haircut, grocery shop, then go back to the house, take a shower, do whatever. It's placement, right? It's location. And as you're thinking, you see what Randy's background is, right? It's something as simple as when you're having meetings with people that you're delivering value to,
give them a chance to buy.
Exactly.
It's so much fun. And, and even with that barber example, right? I can tell you, I could extend that so many different ways. One of the ways is, hey, your barber says, hey, you simply ask someone that's in the chair, hey, you want some money off your next cut? Bring a friend. Right? That's just one way. Here's a QR code, a little simple thing like this, right? That you can make for free. They activate it, right? The barber can track that. Hand this out. You want some money off your next cut? Yeah. Hand this out to 3 friends, or here's 3 cards. Hand this out, and the card has a QR deal. So you've done in one sitting, if you will, you've given 3 more opportunities to bring business into your business. Lead generation.
Yes.
Right? Now that's what we talk about. Pulling profits out of thin air is by having these kind of opportunities in front of you that cost virtually nothing. I guarantee you, when you guys come to the summit that Rob and I are going to be putting on, whether it's virtual or in person, you will have an opportunity to save on something via that QR code. We will probably give you an opportunity to bring a friend and have it adjust down what we're going to be asking for you to invest in what we're doing. I know, the kind of summits, that I want to run are all about you get value that day. You get value that day. In other words, you'll be able to say, I got way more than my money's worth. And whoever you brought will be so impressed with you. You didn't just bring me to one of those kind of events, right? Where they give you a sandwich and then they're selling you the rest of the day. Your friends will be able to go, man, you just put money in my pocket. Lady, you just put money in my purse. You just made me some money by bringing me to this thing. Right? And then we'll have another one. And you get the opportunity to impress all your friends. And you can put money in your friends' pockets. Think about the power that you've just given them. You've given them an opportunity. So, barber, hairstylist, salon owner, how many buy buttons do you have out there? I ask people oftentimes, hey, how much do you want your business to make? That's where I start. Oh, him and Han, I don't know. That's what it comes out to. I don't know. I says, well, just come up with a number. And then we reverse engineer it. I said, okay, you come up with that number. And Rob's got, and this is something that I gotta steal from Rob too. He's got a spreadsheet for his own business for the next 3 years of growth. Would you like something like that? We're not selling, we're just telling. This is not the sell. There we go. This is not the sell. But we're saying to you, these are the kind of things when you come to one of our events that you get. You will walk out of there having a structured business plan. You will walk out of there knowing how to full profits from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And most importantly, you'll walk out of there understanding how to deal with the pressure and the stress and the chaos that goes into it, right? There's so much of this, I think, and I think it's important for us to remember, right? Randy and I talk about this off camera all the time. There is an emotional weight. There is a psychological weight with being an entrepreneur that everybody talks about hustle and grind and all of these words that basically mean that you're supposed to be just, going through it for however long you're going through it. And I want to dispel that myth, right? Because it makes it seem as if you just always on your grind, you always hustling, you always giving everything you got all the time. And that's not sustainable. That's called burnout, right? That if you look at anybody that's built a tremendous business, like, even I remember there was a quote, Bill Gates was like, he didn't take a vacation for 10 years. Yeah, but right. Like, he was traveling all over the country selling his stuff. And I promise you that he wasn't at work 24 hours a day when he was traveling all over the country selling his stuff. He was at a hotel. He was chilling in the room. He was doing stuff. Like, oftentimes the hype is that people were just grinding and just hustling, and that's not it, right? Building a business like running a marathon, it takes a different level of understanding, a different mindset, a different way of interacting with your mind and your body, because you're running for 26 miles. The best marathoners in the world run for 2 hours.
Wow. Straight.
And you watch them.
Incredible.
Even with them, right? They're running the whole time and everything's good. No, they veer over, they take some water, they're drinking the Gatorade, they're drinking water, they're getting a goo pack or a orange slice or something. Like, they're replenishing and they're going and they're taking care of their bodies. And these are the best in the world. If you run, like, for those of you all that have never run a marathon, I'll give you some notes from the front, right? Because I've run one. I'm not running anymore, but I've run one. And here's the reality.
That's funny.
When you're running a marathon, you have to learn how to pace yourself. You have to learn how to listen to your body, right? There's this thing that everybody hits called the wall. And it seems as if, right, when the way that people talk, that you just blow through the wall. That's not what happens at all. What happens is you hit the wall, you listen to your body, you figure that out, you take that time that you need, and then you get back on the horse and keep going. I remember when I hit the wall, it was about mile 18 in my marathon. My quad cramped up in a way that I have never had before or since. My quad speak to me. Now, it started speaking to me about mile 16. It started saying, hey, we want a break. I was like, nah, we're going to push through. We got this. We're going to be good. And then it started saying it a little bit loud about mile 17. So I, took a little break. I massaged my quad, and then I started walking, and I started running again. By mile 18, it was like, I don't think you understand, bro. We need a break. And so my quad literally,
either give me a break or I break you.
Right. And so I would try to run, and my leg would just stiffen up every time it would hit. It was like, nope, you're not bending your knee. And I was like, okay, that's not sustainable for another 6 miles. So let's figure this out. Now, luckily, my wife was, she went and, this is in DC, so she went and rented a bike, and she found me, caught up to me because she saw me standing on the side, like, what's wrong with him? So she goes and gets me a pack of ice. I mean, not ice, a pack of salt from from one of the vendors, and a Gatorade. So I pound. Now, mind you, I've been doing electrolyte tabs, I've been doing goo packs, I've been doing water and all the rest of that type of stuff. But for whatever happened, I depleted my reserves. So I throw the salt back, I throw the Gatorade back. I'm massaging my leg, and I wound up having to walk for another mile before my leg was comfortable and through that wall. Now, after that, okay, I can run the rest of the race. Everything is good. I do my thing. But the experience was, I remember when I was training for the marathon, I wouldn't have been able to make it past that if I hadn't changed how I was training. And what I want you all to be able to do and take from this as you're looking forward is, you have to change your paradigm of what hustle looks like. You have to change your paradigm of what grind looks like. Because what you're trying to build is not 3 months get rich quick scheme. Yeah, you can just hustle through that. But if you're trying to build a business where you're focusing on lead generation, where you're focusing on conversions, where you're focusing on client fulfillment, where you're focusing on creating an SOP, that's not something that you're doing in 3 months and you're done. That's something that's going to take a while. You're going to have to learn things. You're going to have to figure things out. And so in this conference, we're not just teaching you how to get money, how to make money. It's not get rich quick or anything like that. It's make money quick. But the system that you're trying to create and how you can be the person that runs that system, and how you can not have to manage the chaos or organize the chaos that's outside in order for you to still be able to thrive. That's what you're going to be getting in that in the conference. And it was so important for us to be able to give that to entrepreneurs, because we coach entrepreneurs and you know, in our life outside of what we do here all the time. And the constant refrain is that people are struggling to figure out how to either find clients and make money, or they have so many clients that they don't know how to deal with.
That's right. They can't scale
the money that they make. And they can't scale because they're like, I'm burnt out just with the 10, 1,500 clients that I have.
Right. It's not built in a way. And that's where I always appreciate and always love when I'm talking to an entrepreneur, and, you know, especially the entrepreneur like Rob that says, hey, I got my next 3 years mapped out. I got a system, right? So sometimes you can't even get I get frustrated sometimes though, right? I'm trying to get into, you know, talk to my guy. And it's like, you got to go through this. You got to go through this. But that's because that's the system. It's a predictable thing. Is created to give you assurance and anyone else that comes in that this is how we're going to do it, because it's the thing that's going to give you the most value. Now, if you start veering off, right? Imagine an airplane decided, we're just going to come out of automatic mode. We could just take a left. Well, that's not going to work. You're going to crash into somebody, right?
Exactly.
And the reason why they have things set up in a way so that once you get up in the air, you just set the, you know, autopilot, and the plane gets you there.
Yep. You can fly.
Now y'all hearing that? Autopilot. Your business should be on autopilot. So when you have a question of, how do I pull profits out of the sky? Right? How do I then you look into what you're currently doing right now. Here's another gem. I'm ready to drop it for you. You look at what you're currently doing and ask yourself, how can we do more of it? What did we, and this is another thing that's from the book actually. And he says, you should be able to look at your business and know almost everything in it, right? In other words, how this is going to be money making for me. How is it going to be predictable? Because you're looking at it and going, oh yeah, on Saturday, we're going to make a lot of money. Why? Because I know typically on Saturdays, this happens. Why does this happen? Because I know my customers are coming from this thing, right? You try to do it on a Tuesday, maybe not so much, because you just don't have the same kind of traffic. So when you're trying to flip the switch, you're saying to yourself, how can I do that more? How can I do more of that? Well, let's get more people over to your business on Saturday in very predictable ways, right? And one of the reasons why I love creating digital products is that is the business. Once it's done, it's, you know, and guys, you know me, I got some degrees, and I've been kind of railing against, you know, my degrees, because I was like, look, somebody needs to give me a refund because y'all didn't teach me how to do business. I had to go out here and learn it on my own, that kind of thing. Anyway, so, but then I find myself using something I learned, guess where? In school. No additional marginal cost business, right? Think about this. You create it once and you have no additional cost. Now they got the fancy words, no additional marginal cost. When I read that, I says, that's the kind of business I want to build. And they gave examples, software, right? No additional marginal cost. This buy me a coffee software allows me to take what they've created once to now benefit from it, share it with Rob, and says, hey, look, you can buy me a coffee. And then A little money also drops in because guess what? You're an affiliate for them. No additional marginal cost businesses. Setting up systems is like that. You get your predictability back because you've created something that runs despite you. The business should run despite you. I don't know if I told you guys a story about the carpenter, right? This carpenter was brilliant. And they were in it. He was inexpensive. So, he was the carpenter that he stayed busy. So I had been watching his work. He had done several people's, friends of mine's homes. And I was like, oh, this is good. How much that cost? Oh, just a little bit. I was like, that's it. Yep. Guess what happens? Carpenter blows his back out. The business is done. No system. Now, me as a business person, I'm going, he should have trained people, but he was the engine. And when the engine went, so did the business. Versus he should have been obviously showing his people how to do the work. He could have still sat back with the bad back, right? He could have sat back with the bad back, and he could have just gone out and got jobs, called up his old clients, pulling money from the sky, just calling up some folks. If he had an email list, email them, what do you need done? I'm going to send my crew. They represent me. I'm here, recovering. His whole business went down. And, soon the family did too, because he wasn't making any money. He had to get, the whole deal. So now think about that. You go down. As your business stay up?
There's the question. And that's a really important thing for every business owner to look at. Because again, we were talking about, do you have an asset or are you your business?
That's it. Looking at it like that. You mentioned something earlier, Rob, that got me thinking. And there's a product that just came onto the market, man. And they're doing so many ads right now, as I've been able to go into and look at how many ads they're running. I can look at their ad spend, and they're just crushing the game. I looked at their website. It's a pretty simple website, but it has a powerful proposition, right? And they even got a celebrity, kind of, pushing it and everything. It might be his company. I don't know. But it addresses some of these growth opportunities that you may face as a business owner and what to do about them. It's called Trainual. You seen that? Right? Yep. So you got Trainual. And I thought about that training manual, Trainual, this in your business. Some of it's a little bit like, I don't quite understand this business. But then I dug in a little bit and I thought, wait a minute. So if you decided that you had to grow, do you have standard operating procedures in place that allows you to grow? It's kind of what, Gerber talks about all the time. You got to have a business that you can show the predictability because you can scale and all that. Well, this right here is a software-based way to do it. Now, think about that now. So you're thinking, oh, man, if I get this, I'm going to have 50 people. And no, you don't. I use software a lot. And I used to be against it. I was like, no, it's going against the whole people movement and all that, right? And I thought, but once I started seeing the amount of things that I could create and how fast I can create them and do some of the other stuff that I love, while that went out there and did the rest, it changed everything. So you think about this Trainual, right? And we're not affiliates for this, not yet. We're going to figure it out, right? I'm going to find the affiliate button. But anyway, so now you have that part taken care of. 50 people can come in. They go to one spot to get all the information about the company. They get all these growth opportunities. That's how you're creating scalability. That's how you're creating something that you can just flip on, run some ads, and you're sitting back as the owner going, business, go make me money out of the sky. And it's going to make them some money because I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it. That's what's available for you as well. Think about your business. Can it be reduced to a software as a service product? In certain cases, yes, it can. Course creators, y'all know what I'm talking about. You create it once. Business book writers or book writers, you know what I'm talking about. Stephen King is making money from books he wrote in 1994. That's creating it once, allowing it to be distributed multiply, and somebody pick it up, it could have sold 15 copies when you released it, but right now it's popular, it's hot. The things you were talking about could have been way ahead of your time. Now somebody picks it up, right? Think about Stephen K. Dick. I think his name was Stephen. Yeah, he wrote all these science fiction things that were like way out here. Like, what is this guy talking about? But now, in an age of Philip K. Dick, he was making a pile. His family was, because he's gone, he's deceased. Years after, flip the switch. That's how you make profits, by flipping the switch. Somebody pulls it out. That's the kind of business you want to start creating, everyone. We want you to come and get more information about this kind of stuff, right? And I know you get it here, what we do every week, but when we rock out that summit, it's no more about just hearing it. It's about doing it. That we can guarantee you will be, have your hands in it. Ain't gonna be a whole bunch of paper in front of you. Let me fill out this. We want you to bring the idea. We want you to bring the business, so that we can show you how to get to these next levels at whatever level you want to get to.
Definitely.
Again, not to sell, that's just to tell. Yep. All right. So Rob, what can we leave people with the concept of pulling profits out of thin air, automating their business, surviving the chaos? What can, these are all areas we're expertise in. What can we leave them with that gives them hope?
I think the big thing that's been resonating with me listening to, just kind of sitting back thinking during our conversation is, for those of you all out there that are struggling through this, you're trying to figure out, how to keep going, how to keep it happening, and all the rest of that. I think the biggest thing is to remember that the journey is not supposed to be easy. Right. I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in the laptop lifestyle marketing of the entrepreneurship journey. And there's a lot of people that feel like if they're not having that, then there's something wrong with them. And again, going back to the marathon analogy, there's nobody that's ever run a marathon that's been like, that was easy. Right. So realize that what you signed up to do, if you're an entrepreneur, is not an easy task, but you didn't sign up for easy, but you can make it easier.
Ooh, there it is.
Right.
It's not easy, but you can make it easier.
And that's the key that we're talking to you about. We're trying to help you make your journey easier, because it doesn't have to be excruciatingly painful. It doesn't have to be torture. It is going to be hard, but don't make it as hard as it can be. There's no value in it being just super hard. So you got to find that middle ground. So these types of things, being able to pull money out, being able to turn your business on or off, being able to understand that you are not your business, and to be able to see your business for what it is versus who you are. Those are all things that will make your journey easier on this arduous journey, because creating something that has never existed before, bringing into the world an idea, right, that even if you're similar to your competitors, you're not them. Your business isn't theirs, and therefore you had to create something different. That's not easy. And so I just want to give you all that, kind of encouragement that you're on a hard path. You're doing something difficult, but it doesn't have to be torture. It doesn't have to be excruciating. It can be enjoyable and difficult. And that's what we're trying to help you to realize.
And we're going to do it. Right? We're gonna, pull you kicking and streaming towards success if we have to, right? Because that's how much we care about this. And you can hear it. You hear it in our excitement. You hear it in the way we approach what we do. It's our desire to see you succeed. And if we can, again, present just a couple of pieces to your already kind of complete puzzle, just a couple of pieces, then it makes looking down at that thing that you built and you being able to go, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. Absolutely. And that's just us coming alongside of you, right? And then giving you the stuff that we've learned from our pain and our pleasures, right? From our mistakes And from all of the stuff that we've experienced in a variety of different areas, that little piece, here, put that there. That's what we're doing this for. That's why we have this every week. And that's why when we have that summit, you'll see how we help you with that. Hey, will you come? Will you come? Remember back in the day, I think it was Al Williams that started. He preceded Primerica, right? I can't remember the name of his company, but I remember listening to this
Williams
guy. I can remember him saying, "Will you come? Will you come? Right? Will you come and put an investment into your business?" We'll give you more of the details as it comes along, guys. We just wanted to really just put it out there and let you know that it's coming. Be prepared. We don't even have a save the date yet, but we will. Will you come? We look forward to it. Rob, thanks again, man. I think helped some people today. We've given you some things you can pull right now and go make some money from. Get your QR code up.
There we go.
I want to see some QR codes. I never get a call from my barber. Never.
Simple stuff. Follow up.
One email. Okay, that's fine. Somebody else hear this, innovate on it, and start making a pile of money.
There we go.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, everybody. Have a great one.